Do not explore the tomb of the novistadors in the desert on the outskirts of Tijuana in Mexico. I myself had to learn this lesson the hard way. It starts off with a series of reports, eyewitnesses, and local urban legends, all centered around sightings of mysterious creatures the locals called novistadors. Means unseen in Spanish. Similar to the chupacabra, it was said to attack livestock, but two key differences made me interested in particular. It was said to be completely invisible, and all the sightings happened in a radius around the Baja California desert. Like I said, specifically the part of the desert close to Tijuana. Locals claimed these cryptids were related to or coming from this certain tomb, the tomb of the novistadors. So, I was shown a photo by a local at a Tijuana gas station. It depicted slaughtered livestock in this dark early morning field. I guess it must have been one of his farmer friends. Clearly in the middle of this photo was a transparent see-through entity, only made visible by the bloodstains covering it. I decided to get the help of a local, he knew the area, named Juan. I paid him to drive me out to the desert and give me a tour of this tomb. I also found a strange man, who I happened to meet during my trip to Mexico, a foreigner like me, and I told him about his expedition. He told me that he could provide security, and he wanted to come along. His name was Reggie. So Juan, in his iconic denim and baseball cap, drove us out. It was sunset. We were expecting to do a whole spelunking session, whole night. Reggie, at one point, me and him were in the back of the van. He turned to me, he told me, listen, I have a secret to tell you. I know we've only known each other a few days, but you gotta know, I'm only decent at fighting. I can punch, I can kick, but listen, why I decided to be security for you today, and for others and others days, is because I have a gift, I have a talent, and a certain power. It's ruined my life, but now I wish to use it for good. And I had no idea what he was talking about, but I let him continue his ramble. He pulled out a briefcase and handed it to me. Open it. Okay. There was a single banana inside. Don't eat it, don't touch it, Reggie said. Keep it locked up. If there's an emergency, I need you to hand me it. Why? Because of my gift, and he hammer-fisted the metal side of the van. Since I was a kid, it first happened when I was 10 years old. We were eating lunch at school. The lunch lady put a banana on my tray, and I didn't know any better. I sat down, I grabbed it, and this is when the curse began. I heard screaming, loud screaming, glass shattering, animalistic roaring. A gorilla charged through the glass doors of the elementary school. It obliterated everyone. It punched all the teachers into a red fine mist. It ripped them apart, bit them, swung them around, slammed them into the ground. It just kept going. It was a massacre. But I survived, Reggie explained. I didn't know at the time that it was all my fault. Later that year, I was in the grocery store with my parents. I was still traumatized a bit, as you might have guessed, Reggie said. He said he looked over to the fruit rack, the banana stand, and he contemplated how he was holding a banana at the time of the initial gorilla attack. All the specialists in trauma told him over and over that a random gorilla attack would never happen again. He looked me right in the eye and he said, they lied to me. Those specialists lied to me, because when he grabbed that banana, immediately a gorilla charged through the front door of that grocery store, and again, he was the only survivor. So Reggie looked at me after explaining his story. He said, do you understand me now? If we're ever in an emergency, if we're ever in a dire situation, just hand me the banana, and the nightmare will begin again. The nightmare will again become reality. This guy was fucking crazy. This guy was fucking crazy. I didn't know what to say. But I just nodded and pretended to listen while I browsed my phone. I made sure the camera equipment was all good to go. After all, the whole point was to try to get footage of these invisible creatures. In hindsight, maybe that was a silly plan, but hindsight's 50-50. Either it's correct or it isn't. Anyways, I would not have stepped out of that van that night if I knew how things were about to go. So I got my grainy, low-quality camera, that are standard issue for paranormal reporters, and a flashlight, came to a stop outside the tomb. Juan said something in Spanish, but I didn't understand him. Esta tumba est incluso más antigua de lo que recuerdo. No idea what it meant. Perhaps it was a prayer for our inevitable descent. We all stepped out of the van and stood to face the tomb of our doom in the gloom of the moon next to a circle of mushroom and a discarded littered plastic spoon left by some goon. I do recall that. I started recording myself with a camera, walking to the temple, tomb, whatever. It was night now. It was hard to see, you know. It was dark. We headed up the stairs, through the rubble, into the trouble, and I shone my flashlight into the crypt. There was a small set of stone stairs leading down to the entrance hall of sorts of this tomb, and of course it was completely dark, no light sources, and ancient abandoned rubble. I heard what sounded like scuttling, rocks shifting, debris being moved, and I assumed that we upset some sort of small rock slide or something. We stood still for a while with a distant scuttle, you know, sound still emanating from the lower floor, And Juan decided to investigate. He tripped on a staircase and fell all the way down these stairs, and we could hear him falling down the stairs for really long, like really, really long, like boom, ba da ba doo, ba da. He was falling for a while. Let's help him, Reggie suggested, and he went down the stairs too, but slowly using his flashlight. I went after him, not wanting to be alone in the dark, not because I'm afraid of the dark, because I'm afraid of loneliness, and me and Reggie admired the scenery of this ancient, likely illegal to be in tomb, illegal to trespass in tomb at the very least. Possibly a cultural icon of significant historical value, littered with countless delicate objects that random people like me would accidentally destroy. Anyways, looking to my left, I saw Juan was cut in half. Yeah. Well, actually, it wasn't half. It was more like tenths. He was everywhere. And I used my flashlight to see blood all over the walls, Juan's, presumably. And just like in the photo, I saw this creature, again not visible itself, only the outline of it formed by Juan's blood stains. And it snarled at the light as I pointed at it. I could hear that. And I heard the scuttling sounds all around me. And I was scared about screwing up the video, because the visual quality sucked. Especially because of lighting. Anyways, one lunged at me while I was fiddling with the camera. I was trying to figure it out, readjust the brightness settings. It lunged at me. This creature, I don't know what it did. Whatever it did, it felt like it slashed me with some sort of plastic-feeling claw, and it cut right across my face. Force knocked me on my back to the ground. I think it started stomping me or something, like kicking me in the face. I'm trying to hold my arm to defend myself, and just stomping away at me. And Reggie came in, though. He came in clutch, and he tackled that thing right off me. He was like, boom! He helped me. He was like, let's get out of here. And I'm like, good idea, I pointed the flashlight back at the blood-stained, invisible novistador, I guess it's called. Reggie fucking taekwondo spinning sidekicked one of them right as it lunged for him. He didn't mention anything about it afterward or anything, and I didn't get a chance to bring it up. But I wanted to compliment him on that, because that was really impressive. And I ran faster than Reggie, because I had a flashlight. And in hindsight, I should have stayed and lit the way for him, but hindsight is 50-50, like I said. I got up and out the stairs, into the desert grassland sooner than him, and I was jumping at every bush I passed, because I didn't know if it was rustling due to the wind or a weird bug creature hiding in plain sight anymore, you know what I mean? You know how it is. Made it back to the van. I was waiting there, hoping, praying. Reggie made it. Because I'm not a sentimental person or anything. I barely knew the guy, but he had the keys. So, I saw him. He was running down the stone stairs from the temple now. Reggie got back to the car. Man, I can't believe it, he said. He reached into his red hoodie pocket. He pulled out a cigarette. What was that? Man, that's crazy. Let's just get in the car and get out of here. And he lit a cigarette and he blew smoke out into the desert night air, right? And the smoke went forward and it produced like an odd pattern in the breeze. And Reggie noticed it and took another drag of his cigarette. And blew smoke all up and down in front of him, and it formed a fucking outline of a 2-meter-tall bug standing about as tall as Reggie. And it lunged at him and started... I don't know, I couldn't see it, to be honest, because it was invisible. And Reggie was just getting cut up and beat shit on the ground, smashed into the side of the van. He struggled against this invisible thing. And Reggie screamed out, "The banana! Get the banana now! Not later! Now! Not later! Now!" I didn't know what to do, so I opened up the back of the van, got the briefcase, I opened it up. The banana was inside, and I grabbed it, and I ran back to Reggie, still getting jumped at the front of the van, and I held out the banana to him. As soon as I touched the banana, he explained through like fucking impacts of blows and the unseen force just beating the shit out of him. "Run. Just run. Don't look back, just run." So I handed him the banana, and I did what he said. I ran. I ran away from the van. I heard it. I heard the rumble, and I knew somehow he was telling the truth about his fucking story earlier. I saw it. The gorilla, a silverback, tore apart 2 trees to make way for itself. And it shoulder charged right into my fucking van. Juan's van. The gorilla didn't need sight. It fought by sense of fucking smell, and it fought by its sense of hatred. It could sense the location of whatever entities it hated or loved, I think, and it loved nothing, but it hated everything, so it could sense wherever anything is. It punched at what was to me thin air, but, you see, I don't know if the gorilla's hate was blind or not. Maybe it was. I think it was. But that was its strength as much as its weakness, because it sensed with its hatred where it was and just boom, boom, boom. It smashed apart these novistadors one after another. The gorilla punched the bug creatures into paste, sending their bug limbs flying in all directions. It would have looked cool, but novistador parts are invisible, so it just looked like a gorilla was punching at nothing while random blood splatters came from nowhere as it did. The gorilla was completely victorious in combat. The novistadors, despite having home field advantage, could do nothing against the brute strength of this gorilla, and the novistadors died en masse that day. And I ran. I ran so far away, I ran all night and day, and I thankfully did manage to get away. I ran across the Mexican desert for hours, all the way back to my house. I don't know the fates of Juan or Reggie. Well, I do know the fates of Juan, but I don't know the fate of Reggie. I do know I survived. I needed to bring back this one simple message. Do not explore the tomb of the novistadors in the desert on the outskirts of Tijuana, Mexico. Do not. There's no good reason. There's no good reason. Don't explore the tomb of the novistadors. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment below for more entertaining stories like this.